This is Pastor Kenneth Glasgow. I'm the advocate for the Thomas family in reference to Chris Thomas. Chris Thomas was shot, brutally shot and double tapped, 2 in the neck, 2 in the side, right there on Montgomery Highway, right down the street from here, when he was trying to get away from an officer, Darren Moore, who would mysteriously, for some reason, hit his car, according to witnesses, hit his car on Linden Street. And it seems that Chris Thomas was trying to get to a public area and he was shot and killed by the police officer. We have these type of cases that are going on all across the country now where young black men are targeted, they're shot down. And one of the things that we have a problem with in Alabama is not so much the racial tensions, but the policies and procedures. The policies and procedures here. Officer can be on the force and not have to do any mandatory minimum hours in the classroom for use of deadly force. Not have to do any mandatory use of deadly force for mental health patient training or anything like that. Also, we are questioning the Open Records Act. Where is the accountability? Where is the transparency? This is something that we have been talking about ever since the Zachary Smith case, when he was mysteriously found hung at Eastgate Park with his hands behind his back, and they say he committed suicide. Then we have Justiro Reynolds, and then we have Byron. All chases seem to lead to death. One of the things that we have here in this Chris Thomas case is that they even admitted he never exceeded 30 miles an hour. So the young man was trying to protect himself. Even I, as a preacher, along with other preachers I talked to yesterday, would you have stopped in a dark place when it was just the police and yourself? And all of them admitted, no, we would not have stopped till we got to a public area. This is the fear that is going on in Dothan, Alabama, behind the police department. And we know that the chief is doing his best, but the officers need more training. They got Khalil. And I applaud them for Khalil. But what about use of deadly force? What about diversity training on how to deal with black young men and young women who are scared to death of you, and you're supposed to be protecting them, but now they're afraid of you? What about use of deadly force when it comes to mental health patients, like what happened to Patrick Humphrey in Helen, Alabama? What about use of deadly force training in a classroom and not just practicing on how to shoot somebody? Look at the target. Look at the background. Look at the aim of what you're shooting at. This all takes a psychological effect. So the classroom would take off the psychological effect that it is and cause our peace officers, and what they're originally supposed to be peace officers, to be more peaceful.
We're trying to get justice for my brother Christopher Thomas. No justice, no peace. And we've been waiting around 4 months, and we ain't got no answers. Nobody told us nothing. I guess the runaround say they gonna call us. We ain't won't hear nothing. I guess they just try to buy time, but I already know Dothan ain't gonna give me the answer I want, so I already got my mind set that when they do get the answer, and I already know I'm gonna keep on going, cause I gotta go further with this and get this around the world. My brother, they said he was on a high-speed chase, but they also said that the chase wasn't over 30 miles an hour. And I was thinking, like, why would my brother be on a high-speed chase and go to a parking lot where it's a lot of people and a lot of cars, that maybe he just trying to get where he felt safe or comfortable. This officer did not have no lights on him for him to pull over. They were just trailing him. And when he get to the parking lot, the officer pull up beside him and one pull in front of him. And when he backs up into the car, the officer comes around the back of his patrol car, that when he comes to a complete stop and hit the car, the officer end up right in his window. So I don't see where the officer's life was in danger, but I guess that's why they can't tell us nothing. So he shot my brother 4 times, 2 times in the neck, 2 times in the side, and they said he was accelerating towards the officer. But if he was accelerating towards the officer, how can you shoot me 4 times in a straight line? Like, this worse than Trayvon Martin.
You definitely want answers. That's the thing. You want answers.
We want answers. I know Dothan ain't gonna give them to me.
So you think?
All right.
You think Internal Affairs or somebody like that needs to get involved with the whole Houston County, or?
Yes, sir. Dothan ain't gonna do it. They gonna try to cover up their mess. They made a mess, so they got to cover it up.